Sir, good morning.
Sorry. Good morning, madam. Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, my dear friends. Welcome to today's session.
Girls,
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Okay. Shall we start?
yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, my dear friends. Welcome to today's session. This is Padala Tirupati, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Government Degree College for Women. In the faculty exchange program, we are meet in our online Google Meet. Thank you, head of the department, government, Reddy Women's College, respected Dr. Rajini Madam Garu. All thank you very much for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And my dear friends, I am also thankful to you, but because of listening of my knowledge, sharing of my knowledge to you also. Okay, today our topic is, Madam, it's recording?
Yes, sir. Record చేస్తున్నా, sir.
Yeah. All of you, my dear friends, in the respiration, the first step, that is glycolysis. Okay, so today our class is glycolysis. So before going to start the glycolysis, what is metabolism? Metabolism is a series of interconnected chemical reactions occurring within a cell. In the chemical compounds involved in it are termed as metabolites. Okay, the enzymatic reactions are organized into discrete pathways which proceeds in a stepwise manner, transforming substrates into end products through many specific chemical intermediates. In these metabolic pathways can be following types, whether the linear metabolic pathways or cyclic metabolic pathways or spiral metabolic pathways. These are the different metabolic pathways we are observed in the physiological functioning. One is a linear metabolic pathway. The best example of linear metabolic pathway is glycolysis. The cyclic metabolic pathway, the best example is a citric acid cycle, that is TCA cycle, or tricarboxylic acid cycle, or Krebs cycle. Or also we can call it as amphibolic pathway. That is the cyclic metabolic pathway. And the next one, that is the spiral metabolic pathway. The best example of this is biosynthesis of fatty acids. These are the three metabolic pathways we are observed in the physiological function. In metabolic pathways, are two functions. How many functions? Two functions. Two functions are there. Number one, generation of energy to drive vital functions. Generation of energy to drive vital functions. What are the vital functions? Whether the respiration or photosynthesis in human plants, even though excretion process of human beings and sexual reproduction or reproduction pathways or nerve impulse are different functions or physiological functions or vital functions used energy for these metabolic pathways. The second one is synthesis of biological molecules. What are the biological molecules? Whether the proteins or protein synthesis or amino acid biosynthesis. Protein biosynthesis, or carbohydrate or biosynthesis of fatty acids, or different synthesis, biomolecules are synthesis through these metabolic pathways. These are the two functions, metabolic pathways, we are observed in the physiological functions. So this flow chart shows how metabolic pathways, whether the anabolic metabolic pathways or catabolic pathways. So metabolic pathways are classified into two types. One is catabolic pathways. The second one is anabolic pathways. The catabolic pathways are involved in oxidative breakdown of larger complex into smaller one. They are usually exorganic in nature. The second type of metabolic pathways, anabolic pathways. In these pathways are involved in the synthesis of compounds or smaller compounds going to form into larger compounds. They are usually endergonic in nature. So what are the characteristic features of metabolism? Number one, metabolic pathways are irreversible. Remember, my dear friends, metabolic pathways are irreversible. And my dear friends, in the process of growth and development also irreversible. That is a continuation process. Whether the plant is alive, the growth and development is also a continuation process. So metabolic pathways is also an irreversible process. The second point is every metabolic pathway has a committed first step. Even though a single metabolic pathway, even the prokaryotic living organism or eukaryotic living organism, my dear friends, remember every metabolic pathway has a committed for first step. So first step is necessary for all reactions or metabolic activities. Number third one is all metabolic pathways are regulated. Remember, my dear friends, any metabolic pathway is definitely it is regulated for further step or further reactions. The fourth one is the metabolic pathways in eukaryotic cells occur in specific cellular locations. Remember here, whether the prokaryotic cells are unicellular organism or prokaryotic organism does not contain any cell organelles. So that's why all types of the metabolic activities definitely done in the cytosol or cytoplasm. This is sure. But in eukaryotic living organism or eukaryotic cells, it contains a specific sites for all metabolic activities or metabolic pathways. Now, actual topic, today's topic, that is glycolysis. So, glycolysis comes from a merger of two Greek words. How many Greek words? Two Greek words. See here. Number one, glykis or glycis. Number two, lysis. So, glycolysis comes from two Greek words. Number one, glykis. Number one, lysis. Glykis means sweet or sugar. Sweet or sugar. Sweet or sugar. Lysis means breakdown or splitting into half. So glycolysis means the glucose molecule is going to break down into form 2 moles of the pyruvic acid. One glucose molecule, 6 carbon compound of this glucose molecule is going to break down into 2 pyruvic acid molecules. So that is in the process of glycolysis. So it is the glycolysis first discovered. The glycolysis pathway is first identified or discovered by 3 scientists. 3 scientists, namely Emden, Mayerhof, and Paranas. These are the 3 scientists who discovered this glycolysis. That's why the glycolysis is also we can call as EMP pathway. What we can say that? EMP pathway. EMP pathway. EMP. E means Emden, M means Mayerhof, P means Paranas. So that's why the glycolysis we can also call as EMP pathway. EMP pathway. Why we can say this glycolysis EMP pathway? Just because of the entire glycolysis process discovered, the completely given by the complete metabolic pathway has given by Emden, Mayerhof, Paranas. So these are the 3 scientists who discovered this complete metabolic activities or the complete stages of this glycolysis. That's why the glycolysis pathway is also, we can say that, we can call that EMP pathway. EMP pathway. Okay. Then in this glycolysis, how many steps are involved or which type of enzymes are involved? In this glycolysis, the sequence of 10 enzymes. So 10 enzymes means how many stages required for the complete, the partial oxidation of this glucose is going to form 2 moles of pyruvic acid. 10 steps. How many steps, Amma? 10 steps. So that's why each step is necessary.
PPT sharing.
PPT is not visible, Amma, from the beginning.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
మీకు ముందు నుంచి పీపీటీ కనబడట్లేదా?
లేదు సార్.
No, sir.
ఓన్లీ చెప్తున్నానా నేను?
ఎస్ సార్.
ఓ సారీ అమ్మా. అరే now it's visible.
నో సార్.
అరే రామచంద్ర. Now it's visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Glycolysis visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in this metabolism, once again we can recollect the information very quickly. So metabolism is a series of interconnected chemical reactions occurring with a cell, within a cell, and the chemical compounds involved are termed as metabolites. So chemical compounds, which chemical compounds are involved in the reactions, we can call that as metabolites. The enzymes are reactions. The enzymatic reactions are organized into discrete pathways with proceed in a stepwise manner. In these steps, substrates are going to produce the end products through intermediates. So in this metabolic pathways can be following. How many types? 3 types here. Linear metabolic pathway, cyclic metabolic pathway, spiral metabolic pathway. This slide is visible, Amma. Linear metabolic pathways, cyclic metabolic pathways, and spiral metabolic pathways. Linear metabolic pathway, the best example of linear metabolic pathway is glycolysis. The cyclic metabolic pathway, the best example of TCA cycle or citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle or amphibolic pathway. So this citric acid cycle we can also call as TCA cycle, Krebs cycle, or amphibolic pathway. The spiral metabolic pathway, the best example of spiral metabolic pathway is biosynthesis of fatty acids. Then in this metabolic pathway serves 2 functions. How many functions? 2 functions. One is for generation of energy to drive for vital functions. For generation of energy means ATP. Then synthesis of biological molecules. So biological molecules means synthesis of biosynthesis of the fatty acids, or biosynthesis of amino acids, and biosynthesis of the proteins. So these are the molecules. Then in this metabolic pathways, we can show this is the flow chart for the metabolic pathways. Metabolic pathways are the 2 types. One is the catabolic pathways. The second one is anabolic pathways. Catabolic and anabolic pathways. Catabolic pathways are involved in oxidative breakdown of larger complexes. They are usually exorganic in nature. Then the second one is anabolic pathways. They are the best example are involved in the synthesis of the compounds. They are usually endogenic in nature. So here, catabolic pathways are the best example of the respiration process. The anabolic pathways are the best example of the photosynthesis. Okay. Then what are the characteristics of the metabolism? So here, the metabolic pathways are irreversible. Remember, my dear friends, all metabolic pathways are irreversible. Example, growth and development of the plants. So that is irreversible. Why? Because whenever the cell is going to division, or whether the mitotic division or the meiotic division, the mitotic division, the cells are enlarged. The cells are dividing to form. The increase in number, and automatically the size is increased. Radially, the size is increase of the plant or tree. So that is irreversible, even though all metabolic pathways are also irreversible. Remember here. Then every metabolic pathway has a committed for first step. Every metabolic pathway, whether the glycolysis or the Krebs cycle or even the electronic transport chain, even though different metabolic pathways like photosynthesis, C3 cycle or C4 cycle or CAM pathway. So these are each metabolic pathway should have the first step. Then all metabolic pathways are regulated. Remember, all metabolic pathways are regulated by different enzymes, are also regulated by the different biomolecules. Then metabolic pathways in eukaryotic cells occur in specific cellular locations. Remember here, why? Because the eukaryotic organelles or cells contain different cell organelles, and also each cell organelle have different functions. So that's why metabolic pathways in eukaryotic cells occur in specific cell locations, specific cellular locations. Whereas in prokaryotic living organism does not contain any cell organelles. All metabolic pathways takes place in the cytosol or cytoplasm. Is it clear? Amma, are you follow my class?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
all metabolic pathways in prokaryotes contain or shows only cytosol. Why? Does not contain any cell organelles. So that's why there are no specific locations in prokaryotic living organisms or prokaryotic cells, whereas eukaryotic cells contain different cell organelles. Also, the metabolic pathways also locates at different locations. Okay, then the glycolysis. This is our actual topic, that is glycolysis. So glycolysis is a term is derived from two Greek words, whereas number one glycis and the number two lysis. Means sweet or sugar. Glycis or glycis means glyco or glycis or glyco. That is a Greek word which means glyco or glycis, which means sugar or sweet. Lysis is a Greek word which means breakdown or splitting. So one glucose molecule is going to break down into produce or form 2 moles of the pyruvic acid. So this is the glycolysis. So this glycolysis first termed by or discovered by, the complete steps are given by 3 scientists, namely Emden, Mayer of Paranas. Emden, Mayer of Paranas. See here, Emden is a scientist, Mayer of is a scientist, Parana is the third scientist. So these 3 scientists are given the complete steps of this glycolysis. So that's why the glycolysis we can also call as EMP pathway. What we can say that? Glycolysis is also we can call as EMP pathway. EMP means E means Emden, M means Mayer of, P means Paranas. So EMP, Emden, Mayer of, Paranas pathway, EMP pathway. So EMP pathway is nothing but glycolysis. In our examination, EMP, explain about EMP pathway. Don't confuse about this EMP pathway. EMP pathway is also we can call as glycolysis. So glycolysis is also we can call as EMP pathway. Now, so in this glycolysis, 10 different enzymes are involved. So 10 steps are involved in this glycolysis. So in this glycolysis, the sequence of 10 enzymes catalyzed. This slide is visible, Amma? This slide is
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yeah, 10 enzymatic catalyzed reactions that converts glucose into pyruvate with a simultaneous production on ATP, adenosine triphosphate. In this oxidative process, 1 mole of glucose, how many moles of glucose, Amma? 1 mole of glucose is partially oxidized into 2 moles of pyruvate. We can call it as glycolysis. Glycolysis means 1 mole of glucose molecule, 1 mole of glucose is going to partially oxidize to form or to produce 2 moles of pyruvate. We can call it as glycolysis. This major pathway glucose metabolism occurs in the cytosol of all cells. Even the prokaryotic cell or even the eukaryotic cell, whatever it may be, whether the prokaryote or eukaryote, whether the single cell or multicellular organism, any cell, glycolysis takes place in the part of cytosol. Remember, my dear friends, glycolysis takes place in which part, which place or which location? Cytosol of the cell, whether the prokaryote or eukaryote. So that's why any respiration or cellular respiration or aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration, or whether the prokaryotic cell, whether the eukaryotic cell. So glycolysis is the first step. So glycolysis is the gateway of the respiration, my dear friends. Glycolysis is the first step of the gateway of the entire respiration, whether the prokaryote or eukaryote. Is it clear? So this unique pathway occurs aerobically as well as anaerobically and doesn't involve molecular oxygen. Does not need any molecular oxygen. Oxygen is need not to help for the entire steps of this glycolysis. So does not involve oxygen in this 10 steps of the glycolysis process. Is it clear? Next we will move to next slide, Amma. Is there any doubt in this slide? In this four points, if you have any doubt, Amma? Any doubt? No, right. It also includes formation of lactate from pyruvate. The glycolytic sequence of reactions differ from species to species only in the mechanism of its regulation and in the subsequent metabolic fate of the pyruvate formed. In aerobic organisms, glycolysis is the prelude to citric acid cycle and electron transportation chain, ETC, electron transportation chain. The glycolysis is the central pathway for glucose catabolism. My dear friends, any respiration, glucose is the substrate for the all types of the respiration, whether the aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration or any catabolic pathways. The central pathway of the glucose catabolism, that is glycolysis, my dear friends. Is it clear? Then here we clearly shows the glucose is the central part. The glucose, whether the glucose is going to synthesis of structural polymers, so glucose is necessary. See here, so glucose utilization to synthesis of the extracellular matrix or cell wall or polysaccharide. So whether the storage of the glucose, even the excess of the glucose in human beings, even though plants, the glucose is converted into glycogen, starch, or sucrose. Is it clear? So glucose, whenever the glucose is the storage of the glucose is converted into glycogen, or starch, or sucrose. Whether the glucose is going to oxidation process via glycolysis, the 1 mole of the glucose is going to form 2 moles of the pyruvate. Here the glycolysis process. Or whether the glucose is going to oxidation via pentose phosphate pathway, that is PPP. Here to form ribose 5-phosphate or ribulose 5-phosphate. So this is the major pathways of the glucose utilization. So whether the glucose is going to convert into storage of the different parts of the plants or animals is going to form the convert into glycogen, a starch, a sucrose. Whether the glucose is going to oxidation via glycolysis to produce or form pyruvate. Whether the glucose is going to oxidation via pentose phosphate pathway, it form ribose 5-phosphate. Whether the glucose is going to synthesis of structural polymers, whether the extracellular matrix or the cell wall formation or the polysaccharides. So these are the glucose utilization of the central. So these are the flow chart. The complete picture about shows the glycolysis. So this is the payoff method, payoff step, and this is the cleavage steps. This is the cleavage steps. So these 10 steps are the complete picture of the glycolysis. This is the first step, and this is the second step, and third step, fourth step, and this is the fifth step. This is the first step, the complete first step, that is the cleavage step. And the second one is payoff step. In this payoff steps, again, another 5 steps are involved here. This is the another 6th one, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. So these are the 10 steps are going to explain about the glycolysis. So first one is the preparatory step, and the second one is the payoff phase. So first phase is the preparatory phase, and the second one is the payoff phase. In first step, how many steps are involved? 5 steps. This is the preparatory phase. In this preparatory phase, 5 steps are here, and the payoff phase, another 5 steps are here. The total 10 steps are involved in the entire glycolysis process. In the glycolysis leads to breakdown of 6 carbon compound the 6 carbon compound, that is glucose, into 2 moles or 2 molecules of the 3 carbon compound, that is pyruvic acid or pyruvate, with the enzyme catalyzed reactions being bifurcated or categorized into 2 phases. First phase of is a preparatory phase. The second phase is phase. Now, the first phase, that is a preparatory phase. In this preparatory phase, it consists of the first 5 steps of glycolysis, in which the glucose is enzymatically phosphorylated by ATP to yield fructose 1,6 biphosphate. This fructose 1,6 biphosphate or fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is then split into 2 moles of 3 carbon containing glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Here, these 3 compounds we can call triose phosphates. What we can say that? Triose phosphate. 3 triose phosphates compounds are produced. Thus, the first phase results in cleavage of the hexochain. The 6 carbon compound, that is hexochain, is going to split into or cleavage into 2 triose compounds. This cleavage requires an investment of 2 adenosine triphosphate molecules to activate the glucose mole and to prepare it for its cleavage into 3 carbon compounds or 2 triose compounds. See here, this is the preparatory phase. In this preparatory phase, 1 glucose molecule, 6 carbon glucose molecule is going to split into or cleavage into 2 moles of the 3 carbon compounds or 2 trioses. True trioses, that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. This is and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. EHEP and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Then payoff phase, the next 5 steps, that is payoff phase, that is the second phase. In this phase constitute the last 5 reactions of the glycolysis. This phase marks the release of adenosine triphosphate ATP molecules during conversion of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate to 2 moles of pyruvate. 2 moles of the pyruvate. Here, 4 moles of the adenosine diphosphate ADP are phosphorylated to ATP. Although 4 moles of ATP are formed, the net result is only 2 moles of ATP per mole of glucose oxidized, since 2 moles of ATP are utilized in phase 1. Where 2 moles of utilized? Here, my dear friends. This is the preparatory phase. The first step, that is phosphorylation. In this phosphorylation, glucose is going to convert into glucose 6-phosphate. 1 phosphate is utilized here in the process of phosphorylation. Hexokinase enzyme is necessary for the first step. ATP is utilized in the first step. And third step, the fructose 6-phosphate is going to phosphorylated into fructose 1,6 bisphosphate or fructose 1,6 diphosphate. Here, another second ATP mole is utilized. So, in preparatory phase, 2 ATPs are utilized. Whereas, in the payoff phase, 4 ATPs are synthesized or produced. The net ATPs are 2 only. Why we can say 2 net ATPs are 2? Because the preparatory phase 2 ATPs are utilized. So the net ATP is 2 ATPs. Here 2 ATPs are produced. Here 2 ATPs are produced. So complete 4 ATPs. In these 4 ATPs, already in preparatory phase, 2 ATPs are utilized. That's why the net ATPs is 4 minus 2 is equal to 2 ATPs. Now we are going to clearly explanation about stepwise in the process of glycolysis. The first step is phosphorylation. In this phosphorylation, glucose is phosphorylated by adenosine triphosphate ATP to form sugar phosphate or glucose 6-phosphate. So this is an irreversible reaction, my dear friends. It is catalyzed by the enzyme hexokinase. So here, glucose is going to phosphorylate into glucose 6-phosphate. 1 ATP is utilized. The enzyme is necessary. Which enzyme? Hexokinase. This is the first step. Okay. Then second step, isomerization. Second step is, Amma, is there any doubt in phosphorylation first step? You are already studied in your intermediate second year, my dear friends. You can recollect the information. You are already studied in your intermediate second year also, my dear friends. There is no variation. There is no deviation. There is no difference. That glycolysis is this glycolysis. Remember, my dear friends, glycolysis, anyway glycolysis. Whether the prokaryotes or eukaryotes, whether the intermediate, whether the degree, whether the PG, or you know, in your research, glycolysis. 10 steps is necessary. The first step is phosphorylation. There is no difference. Is it clear? Here, so 1 mole of glucose is going to phosphorylate to form glucose 6-phosphate. So 1 ATP is utilized. So hexokinase is enzyme necessary. The second step is isomerization. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Now, the second step is isomerization. It is also, my dear friends, the first step is irreversible. So it is a reversible process, my dear friends. Remember. The second step is isomerization. Why it is reversible? Am I anybody? Why it is reversible? Isomerization means to change the structure, not the structure. Here it is a reversible rearrangement. The chemical structure of the carbonyl axis from carbon 1 to carbon 2. Keto. The forming a ketose from the aldose. So ketose and aldose. Thus, isomerization of the aldose, glucose 6-phosphate, gives the ketose. That is fructose 6-phosphate. So keto is converted into aldose. Here, glucose 6-phosphate is isomerization into fructose 6-phosphate. Fructose 6-phosphate. Here, the enzyme phosphoglucoisomerase. Phosphofructoisomerase or phosphoglucoisomerase enzyme is necessary for this second step. So first one is phosphorylation. The second step is isomerization. Is it clear? The first step, glucose is going to phosphorylate into glucose 6-phosphate. The second step, glucose 6-phosphate is going to isomerization into fructose 6-phosphate. The third step is also phosphorylation. The second ATP is also utilized in this third step. In this third step, fructose 6-phosphate is going to form fructose 1,6-bisphosphate or fructose 1,6-diphosphate. Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. This fructose 1,6-bisphosphate here the most important enzyme is necessary. That is PFK. Phosphofructokinase. Which enzyme? Phosphofructokinase. This step is irreversible. The enzyme is phosphofructokinase, PFK. Here, remember, my dear friends, in your competitive exam, without PFK, there is no glycolysis. Glycolysis depends upon, my dear friends, this PFK. Phosphofructokinase, PFK. So this is the third step, phosphorylation. In this third step, fructose 6-phosphate utilized 1 ATP to form fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Is it clear? Then the fourth step, that is breakdown or cleavage step. This step you can also call as cleavage. In this step, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is cleaved into 2 trioses. How many trioses? 2 trioses. Tri means 3 carbon component. How many trioses? 2 trioses. So 2 trioses are glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, that is GAP, and dihydroxyacetone phosphate, DHEAP or dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So one is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and the another one is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. The enzyme is aldolase. The cleavage step, the aldolase, in the presence of aldolase enzyme, fructose 1,6-phosphate, this phosphate is going to cleaved into two trioges. One is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, the second one is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So this is the breakdown step or cleavage step. That is the fourth step. And the fifth step, this is the last step of the preparatory phase or the fifth step of the glycolysis. In this fifth step, isomerization process. In this isomerization, the phase is reversible phase. My dear friends, the second step is reversible and the fifth step is reversible, my dear friends. Is it clear? In this step, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is going to isomerization into dihydroxyacetone phosphate, or dihydroxyacetone phosphate is going to isomerization into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. DHEAP to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate into dihydroxyacetone phosphate. In the presence of triose phosphate isomerase enzyme, triose phosphate isomerase. The enzyme is necessary for this step is triose phosphate isomerase. This is the fifth step. And the sixth step, my dear friends, remember the sixth step is the preparatory phase. In this step, 2 moles of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. How many moles, Amma? 2 moles of the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate are going to oxidized. In the presence of which enzyme? 1,3 in the this step is enzyme. The enzyme is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. The enzyme necessary for this step is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. In the presence of this enzyme, the catalyze the conversion of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceraldehyde or 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. Is it clear? So here aldehyde is going to modified into carboxylic acid. Here glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is the aldehyde. This aldehyde is going to modified into carboxylic acid. That is 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. And here the resultant reaction is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is going to form 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. How many moles, Amma? 2 moles. Remember, 2. Here, how many moles? 1 mole. Here, 2 moles. Remember, 2. And the remaining from the fifth step, remaining reversible reactions we are observed. Thus, the sixth step also reversible reactions, my dear friends. Reversible. The enzyme is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. In this enzyme, we are observed the NADPH2 is synthesized. 2-NADH2 synthesized. Sixth step. Now the second step, the seventh step, the transfer of high energy phosphate group that was generated earlier to ADP from 18. Form 18. This phosphorylation. So seventh step is phosphorylation. The phosphorylation we can also call as substrate level phosphorylation. Which type of phosphorylation, Amma? Substrate level phosphorylation. This phosphorylation, that is addition of phosphate to ADP to give adenosine triphosphate, is termed as substrate level phosphorylation. As the phosphate donor is the substrate 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. The production of this reaction, 2 moles of 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is going to modify it into 3-phosphoglycerate. 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 Here, this is the 7th step. 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is going to form 3-phosphoglycerate. Here, one phosphate group adds to ADP. So ADP is going to produce ATP. So this step, the 7th step, the enzyme involved, that is phosphoglycerokinase or phosphoglycerate kinase. This is the substrate, first substrate level phosphorylation. First substrate level phosphorylation in 7th stage or 7th step of the glycolysis. In 7th step, this is also we can call as phosphorylation. In this phosphorylation, 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is going to phosphorylate into 3-phosphoglycerate and add 1 phosphate to ADP and to produce ATP. How many ATPs are produced here? 2 ATPs are produced in the first substrate level phosphorylation. 2 ATPs are synthesized. The eighth step we can call as 3 isomerization. The 3rd step we can call as isomerization. This isomerization process, the linkage in 3-phosphoglycerate is moved to form carbon 3 to carbon 2. So 3rd carbon to 2nd carbon, the phosphate group is going to add 3rd carbon to 2nd carbon because of relatively low free energy of hydrolysis to form 2-phosphoglycerate. So 3-phosphoglycerate to 3-phosphoglycerate. This step, the enzyme necessary, that is phosphoglycerate mutase or phosphoglycerate mutase. This is the 8th step. And the 9th step, dehydration process. 9th step is dehydration. 8th step is intermolecular changes we are observed. Intermolecular changes, that is 3-phospho to 2-phosphoglycerate. Simply, the carbon is changed, moved. The glycerate, phosphoglycerate compound is moved from 3rd carbon to 2nd carbon. That is intermolecular conversion. The enzyme is phosphoglyceromutase or phosphoglycerate mutase. This is the 8th step. And the 9th step is dehydration. Dehydration. The enolase enzyme is necessary for this dehydration process. In this 9th step, this 2-phosphoglycerate is going to modify it into or form PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate or phosphoenol pyruvic acid. This compound is the phosphate ester of the enol tautomer of pyruvate. My dear friends, this is the tautomer of pyruvate. And my dear friends, this is also a reversible reaction. See here, 2-phosphoglycerate in the process of dehydration. Dehydration means 1 mole of water molecule is removed from the 2-phosphoglycerate. So this we can call as dehydration step. In this dehydration step, enolase enzyme is used. Enolase enzyme, in the presence of enolase enzyme, 2-phospho in the process of dehydration to produce 2 moles of PEP. PEP means phosphoenol pyruvate, phosphoenol pyruvic acid. This PEP, the last step, that is the 10th step, the PEP in this 10th step, that is the second substrate level phosphorylation. So last step, that is the 10th step, we can also call as phosphorylation. That is the second substrate level phosphorylation. My dear friends, here the first substrate level phosphorylation, level phosphorylation is 7th step, and the second substrate level phosphorylation is 8th step. In this 8th step, the phosphate is add from PEP to ADP, phosphoenol pyruvate to adenosine diphosphate to synthesis 1 ATP, 1 APT. My dear friends, this is the reversible step, and my dear friends, 1 ATP means, so 2 moles of PEP, that's why 2 ATP is synthesized in 10th step. So this is the last step. This is irreversible transfer of high energy phosphorylation and phosphoryl group from phosphoenol pyruvate, that is PEP, to adenosine diphosphate. This reaction is catalyzed by pyruvic kinase enzyme, pyruvate kinase or pyruvic kinase or pyruvate kinase enzyme, and this is the second substrate level phosphorylation reaction in glycolysis, which yields 2 ATP, my dear friends. And this is a non-oxidative phosphorylation reaction. This is a non-oxidative phosphorylation reaction. Here, so PEP in the presence of pyruvate kinase, 2 phosphate groups add to ADP and to produce pyruvate, or 2 moles of the pyruvate or pyruvic acid. This is the second substrate level of the phosphorylation. So this is the last step, my dear friends. And my dear friends, overall balance sheet of the glycolysis. Overall balance of the glycolysis, the complete formula or the principle of the glycolysis is 1 mole of glycolysis need 2 ATP energy and 2 inorganic phosphate and 2 moles of the ADP, NADP, and 2 moles of the protons are hydrogen molecules, and 4 moles of the ADP to form 2 moles of the pyruvate, and 2 protons are 2 H plus, and 4 ATPs are synthesized, 2 moles of water moles are synthesized, and 2 NADP is produced, and 2 ADP is produced. And this is the equation of the glycolysis, my dear friends. This is the complete equation, shows about 10 steps of the glycolysis. 10 steps of the glycolysis. And here, each moles of the glucose gives 2 moles of the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and therefore the total input of 10 reactions can be summarized these steps or this equation. And on cancelling the common terms from the above equation, we get the net equation of the glycolysis. Here, so this is the glucose and 2 pyruvate, 2 inorganic phosphate, 2 ADPs and 2 NADPs, and here 2 pyruvate, 2 NADH and 2 ATP, and 2 protons and 2 H2. Thus, simultaneous reactions involved in glycolysis are: glycolysis is oxidized to pyruvate, NAD plus is reduced to NADH, ADP is phosphorylated to ATP. Phosphorylated to ATP. So energy yield in the glycolysis chart. In the chart, we are clearly observed the consumption of the ATP and gain of the ATPs are also we are observed here. The first step is phosphorylation. First step is phosphorylation. Is it clear? Am I audible? Here, the first step is phosphorylation. See, this is the phosphorylation. Okay, and the third step is also phosphorylation. And my dear friends, 7th step is substrate level phosphorylation. And the 10th step is second substrate level of the phosphorylation. And chart we are observed here. The first step, that is the phosphorylation, 1 glucose molecule one glucose molecule is going to phosphorylate into glucose 6-phosphate, one ATP is consumption. So gain of the net ATP is 0. Is it clear? Amma, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So first step, glucose is going to form glucose 6-phosphate. That is the first step. That is the phosphorylation step. So one ATP is consumed and net ATP is 0. And my dear friends, the third step is also the second phosphorylation. In this phosphorylation, fructose 6-phosphate is going to form fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Here, one ATP is consumed. Remember, my dear friends, from the first step to third step, how many ATPs are consumed, Amma? How many ATPs are consumed? Total. First step to third step. First step is one ATP and third step is another ATP. So total, how many ATPs are consumed?
2.
ATPs are consumed. How many ATPs are consumed? 2 ATPs are consumed. And my dear friends, the seventh step, 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is going to phosphorylation or substrate level phosphorylation. So the phosphate is added to ADP, that is to produce 2 moles of ATP and to form 3-phosphoglycerate. So 1,3-diphosphate or 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is going to form 3-phosphoglycerate and to add phosphate to ADP. So here, this is the reversible step. And here, how many ATPs are gained? Net ATPs? 2 ATPs are gained. 2 ATPs are gained. And the 10th step, I will show. So this is the 7th step. So 7th step, 2 ATPs are produced, are synthesized. And the 10th step, here 2 ATPs are synthesized. And we can go to explain in the chart. The 7th step is 2 ATPs are synthesized. And 10th step, that is PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate, to synthesize pyruvate or pyruvic acid to synthesize how many ATPs? 2 ATPs are synthesized. So total 4 ATPs are gained and consumed 2 ATPs. The net gain of ATP is 4 minus 2 is equal to how many ATPs? How many ATPs? 2 ATPs are net gain of the glycolysis. Now these 10 steps we are clearly once again we are explained in this chart. My dear friends, and this is the last slide to explain the entire glycolysis. Now, Amma, you can interact with me. I'm asking, you can respond me. So glucose to glucose 6-phosphate. This is the first step. We can call it as phosphate. Which enzyme is used here? Hexokinase. The second step, isomerization. Is it clear? In this isomerization, magnesium ion also utilized. Magnesium. So glucose 6-phosphate. Amma, mute yourself, Amma. Glucose 6-phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphate going to isomerize into fructose 6-phosphate. So this is the second step, isomerization. Is it clear? And the third step, fructose 6-phosphate in the presence of PFK. First one is HK. HK means hexokinase. First one is HK, hexokinase. So first one is hexokinase enzyme. The third step, that is PFK. This is HK, hexokinase. The third step, that is PFK, phosphofructokinase. So in the presence of phosphofructokinase, fructose 6-phosphate is going to synthesize or modify fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. So this is the third step, that is phosphorylation. And the fourth step, that is cleavage step. That is breakdown step. Fructose 1,6-phosphate is a 6-molecule. And fructose 6-phosphate is also 6 carbon compound. From glucose 6-phosphate is also 6 carbon compound. Glucose is also 6 carbon compound. So here these are 6 carbon components, compounds. And here fructose 6-phosphate, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is going to break down into 2 moles of the triose phosphates. That is 3 carbon compound dihydroxyacetone phosphate and 3 carbon compound of the 2 moles of the glyceraldehyde phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate G3P and DHAP, dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So these are the trioses. So in the presence of aldolase enzyme, 6 carbon compound is going to cleaved into 3 carbon compounds. 3 carbon. One is dihydroxyacetone phosphate and another one is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. And this is the 4th step, my dear friends. And the last one is in the preparatory stage, that is the 5th step, that is isomerization. In this isomerization, the enzyme is triose phosphate isomerase. The enzyme triose phosphate isomerase enzyme. In this triose phosphate isomerase, DHAP is modified into G3P or GTP is modified into DHAP. This is the reversible step. My dear friends, and the 6th step.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Madam.
Already 9 o'clock, sir. Students, first hour.
Okay, within 2 minutes, I will sum up, madam. Within 2 minutes, this is the glycolysis. This is the glycolysis. And the 6th step, the triose phosphate isomerase. In the presence of triose phosphate dehydrogenase, it will produce the 1,3-bisphosphate glycerate or 1,3-glyceric acid. And the 7th step, and the 7th step, 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is going to form 3-phosphate glycerate in the presence of phosphoglycerokinase. 1 ATP is added here. So this is the 2 mole ATP is synthesized here. This is the first substrate level phosphorylation. And the 8th step is interconversion change. That is phosphoglyceromutase 3-phosphoglycerate to form 2-phosphoglycerate. And the 8th step is, and the 9th step is a dehydration process. And a dehydration process, 2-phosphoglycerate is to form the phosphoenol pyruvate. In this phosphoenol pyruvate, the second substrate level, the 10th step, that is second substrate level phosphorylation, that is PEP is going to modify or conversion or synthesize into 2 moles of pyruvic acid. So this is the complete step of the glycolysis. This is the complete step of the glycolysis. And this is the balance sheet of the glycolysis. 2 ATPs are consumed, 4 ATPs are gained. The net ATP is 4 minus 2 is equal to net ATPs are 2 only. So this is about glycolysis. My dear friends, I will stop here. If you have any doubt, please ask. Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, madam. And thank you, my dear friends.
Thank you, students.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, students.